Well, welcome to GFB TV. I am so happy to have another special guest on today. If you don't know me, I am Elle, the founder and CEO of Girlfriend's Budget, where we help real women get real results with their money. So today I have Miss Preslee here with me. Hi, Preslee.
Hi, Elle.
How are you today?
I'm good. I'm doing real good.
You looking good too?
Thank you. You too. I like the hair.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So let's just dive right in, Presley, because I'm so excited to chat and like recap all the things that we've done together. So for the people who don't know you, tell them, a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what you do for a living.
Okay, so I'm Preslee, and I am from Dallas, Texas, and I work at a hospital as a contract administrator for medical students. Mhm.
I love that. So, and I always work with ladies who are career driven, and in the time that we've worked together, you've gotten a new job, you've gotten promotions, you've gotten raises, you've gotten all kinds of things. So, let's just like dig into all the things. So, let's go back. We started working together. I looked at the date, 11/11 of 2022. But actually, we started working together prior to that.
Yeah.
Didn't work out so well because it just wasn't, timing wasn't right.
hmm
But then you came back around. So if we go back to that time, how did you first hear about Girlfriend's Budget?
Yeah, so I knew I needed some help with some money. And at the time I just kept hearing about Dave uh the money man.
Dave
Everybody was
Ramsey?
Yes,
Mm.
everybody was talking about him. And so I just put in his information for like financial advisors. And it was one guy, and he recently called me just to check in. And I was like, yeah, I need help with my finances, getting them together. He said, oh no, I don't do that, but I know somebody who does. And I would give you her information. And I had to follow up with him because I was like, look, I need some help. And he said her name is Elle, and it's called Girlfriend's Budget. And I'll search for you then.
Honestly, I did not even know I knew that, but it's been so long, that I did not even remember that. Was that David? Was his name David?
I think so.
The guy that referred you, I think that's what his name was. I know it started with a D. That is so crazy. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay, so that's good. So you referred to me because originally you were looking for an advisor.
Mm, I was like, for you.
And then, okay, so then he referred you to me. And then, okay, so then what would you say some of the habits were? Because you said you were looking for someone to help you. So what were some of the
Mhm.
habits that you struggled with your money before talking to me and joining GFB?
Oh, um, I would pay my bills and I would pay them on time, but I would also overspend. I wouldn't even say treat me, just buy stuff to make me feel good in the moment, and then overeating. So I just my money was coming in and it was going out just as fast. And I didn't know. I needed help getting structure with my money, and I knew I did not want to live in debt um all my life. So I needed I need help. Help.
Had you ever heard of a money coach or anything like that, that term before?
Only a financial advisor, which I thought it was a money coach, but no.
Okay, that's good because I think a lot of people are unfamiliar with the term, and they think, oh, if I need help with my money, I need to go to a financial advisor. But
hmm
there's different roles. So advisors are more so the ones that look into investments and growing your money and things like that. But where I come in is I'm like the start, the first step of getting things organized, seeing how much money is coming in, what's going out, coming up with a plan, all of those things. So I'm glad that, you went to someone looking for someone, but that he pointed you in the right direction of where you needed to start.
Yes, so happy too. So happy.
Yes, me too. Okay, so how have your money management habits changed? Oh, actually,
Mm,
let me go back. When we first talked, what was the deciding factor for you to be like, okay, I need to
Um,
go ahead and do this?
I just really felt, you know what? It's tying into what I'm going through now. I have stepped away from Dallas County to pursue my dreams as a makeup artist. I want to be a makeup artist and TV exam. And I was living off credit cards. I didn't make that much money, and I was fear of like my car getting repossessed. And then I was like, I need to go back to the county. I only got 11 more months before I'm vested, and then I'll make more money. And one of my prayers was like, well, God, let me get my money straight and before I pursue my dreams because I want to do it where I'm not worrying about my finances.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Mhm. So that was the deciding factor that made you be like, I need to go ahead and do this.
Yes, because shortly after I got on with Dallas County, that's when I went looking for um, a financial coach, but I didn't know the term. So,
I love
mhm.
that. I love that, Presley. You sought something out and you received,
Yes.
and you took action. Sometimes people are like, oh, well, I need help, but they don't actually take the steps to get the help. So the fact that you
Mhm.
took the steps shows initiative, and I love that. So since working together, like I said, we've been working together consistently since 11/11 of 2022. And now we are in 2025. So almost 3 years later, almost oh no, over
Count
three
me on.
years. I'm like, we're at 11, 11. Yeah, we're three years in. So yeah. Yes, 3 years later, 3 years later, how do you think your money habits have changed since the beginning?
Mm, so much. I am so much. I feel like I'm matured. Honestly, I feel like an OG veteran now in girlfriend's budget.
Yes, yes.
And I used to be ashamed of like my money habits, but now I feel confident. I feel secure. I'm excited. That's one word I never thought I would say behind money in how I handle money, but I'm excited. After we done been through so many roller coasters, ups and downs, I now look forward to our meetings. I used to be anxious, but I'd be like, yeah, yes, I did some homework. I did some shadow work. I'm gonna tell you what I did, and I feel good about it. So let's help me get it into place.
Mhm. And that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of having someone to talk to, bounce ideas off of, someone who's going to keep it real with you, because people think, oh, well, like everything's just going to be all like beautiful and like roses and sunshine and whatever. But no, like even though we talk about these success stories, we're getting these successes and these wins. That's amazing. But there's also times where we have setbacks, and
Yeah.
that's okay because that's life. It's not a linear path. We're not just going to go straight, upward. There's going to be some ups, some downs, some sideways, some loop arounds, some all kinds of things, but at the end of the day, as long as we're collecting wins, even the small wins, there's no win that's too small, and
Mhm.
celebrating those wins, that's really all that matters.
Yeah, yes, and you taught me how to celebrate myself. Like that's something I look at. I'm like, it's not a pacifying to make me feel good in the moment. It's actually celebrating. Like I did some work. I dug up the root of whatever is causing me to think ill, speak ill over my life, my finances. It's like, okay, I'm celebrating.
Yes, love that. And so speaking of celebrating, right? A couple of things on celebrating. I think sometimes women think, oh, to celebrate myself, I have to go buy something.
hmm
And what are your thoughts on that
Mm,
now that you've been part of GFB?
well, I think if you plan like what you want to celebrate, like say I paid this credit card off in order for me to celebrate this, now I can spend that payment, me and my perfume on a perfume.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to be planned and you have to think about it, not spontaneous. But a small win could also be a hug yourself because we don't hug ourselves. We pour a lot of energy into other people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it could be even, your play money. I'm gonna go up the street to get a 30-minute, that's $50 massage. It's in my play money. That's a celebration, you know?
It is, and there's nothing wrong with spending money to celebrate. There's nothing wrong with that. And like you said, especially if you're planning it, because when we paid off your debt, which we'll talk about in a minute, we planned a trip for you, and you went out the country, what I mean? And, we're able to celebrate yourself for paying off the debt that you had. So nothing wrong with spending money to celebrate. There's also ways to celebrate, though, like you said, that doesn't necessarily require spending money. It's also to just the feeling of accomplishment.
Hmm.
Yay, I paid this off. Oh my God, that monkey's off my back. And
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
wow, my savings is at the goal that I wanted it to be at, like, or highest it's ever been that I've ever seen it, like that's a win, that feels good too. So I just, I encourage ladies to know that it's not always that you have to go and spend money to celebrate yourself. There's other ways to like just bask in the moment, the fact that you did
Hmm.
it.
Hmm.
So speaking of the doing, let's talk about all that we have done in these past 3 years of us working together. So I know when we first started, you had a few credit cards, and so that you were kind of rotating, using those different credit cards.
Yeah.
Collectively, we had about $10,000 in credit card debt. And I know one of your goals when you came back to me, you're like, oh, I want to pay this credit card debt off. I don't want this no more. And I'm like, bet. Okay. So we did a consolidation loan. And we tackled it hard. Like we went in, and I was like, Presley, let's get it done. And we did. So within 11 months of us opening that consolidation loan and paying it off, we did all of that in 11 months, $10,000 in 11 months. Could you have imagined that you could do that?
No. No, and like you said, just the wins. Even before that, we had just paid off my car. And we had paid off, I think we paid off two credit cards before we consolidated. So I knew I had over $10,000. But we did it. You was like, look, this is a game plan. We gonna do this. And at first I was like, I don't want no loan. I wonder. And you was like, no, no, it's gonna be okay. We got this. You was my cheerleader. Like when you said, do I think? No. I was sitting in the car holding my head, really. But I trusted you.
Thank you for trusting me, Presley. Thank you, thank you, thank you for trusting me because I always have all of you ladies' best interests at heart when I'm suggesting things. I'm never going to suggest anything that's going to put you in a worse position or in a position that you don't want to be in. My goal is always to make forward progressive movement. And you're right, we did pay off the card. We paid off two credit cards. Then we paid off the $10,000. I mean, we were just rocking and rolling,
Making
girl.
money.
Rocking and rolling. Not only that, we 10x'd your savings from the time that we started to where we are right now, 10 times your savings. So in the midst of you paying off debt, you're still able to save
Hmm.
and still able to live. Do you feel like you were restricted at all?
The only time I felt restricted is because of my mindset. If I keep it real.
I freaking love you, Preslee. I love that you're so self-aware and
Mm-hmm.
that you also couple not only what we do here together with your money management, but that you also dig deep in therapy too
Yes.
to understand some of the habits that you have cultivated from the past and maybe how that's affecting your future. That self-awareness is so key on just life journeys because a lot of times we get in our own way.
Yeah, we do. And not to talk too heavy in astrology, but I have a Gemini moon. So like them twins be up in there arguing. They be arguing. One be like, we got it, we gonna do it. The other like, no, it's hard. This is that. I was like, oh Lord.
We all have those voices. We all do. And with you being a Gemini moon, I can understand. Your voice is maybe a little bit louder, but we all have those voices that are saying things to us.
Mhm.
And it's the doubt voice and it's the other voice that we want to lean into of the positivity, of the we cans, of the it's possible. But there's always that little, and we just had to
Mhm.
learn to shut that part up, like shut up, like I got this. So yes, love those freaking wins so much. Okay, so just a couple more questions, Presley. Um, what do you think you've learned most about yourself during this journey?
Ooh. A lot. A lot. I learned that I was stuck in survival mode. I learned that I was ashamed and fearful of like how I handle my money. But I also learned to let that go, to let it go. If you want to grow, you don't have to walk through. And when I say walk through it scared, crying, dirty, ashamed, but you when you haven't grasped why you did it, that time you was going through, that makes you ashamed. But when you figured out, look, I was just in a season, it was that moment, whether it was survival or it was something you didn't plan for life, you come out of that shame and you like, that's what it was, this is what it is, and this is what it's gonna be. And so I learned that to forgive myself. I learned to show myself grace. I learned to celebrate myself. I learned to set goals, and I learned to dream bigger.
Presley, I just love you so much, girl. I have seen the growth and transformation in you from the 3 years ago, before the first time, attempt one, right?
Mhm.
To attempt two and counting. Like, I have seen such a growth and you've just really blossomed, You really, really have. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud that you've stuck with it, that you've committed to this process, but not only this process, to yourself,
Mhm.
because you want more, you want to see better through the promotions, through the raises, through the new jobs, all of those things, and just new life experiences. I'm just really grateful and proud to be on this journey with you.
Yes, I'm happy to have you. What I can say is, like you said, you're patient. You want the best interest. Because one thing you said with the loan, and I was like, he was like, it's your decision. Whatever it is you comfortable with. And then, like I said, I was ashamed to come to you and say I done had this setback, this done happened. But recently, I had to say, Elle is my partner in this. You know, it's not like you have the knowledge and you teaching and you helping, but it's not a dictatorship. You're my partner. And I had to learn it and I had to say, okay, it's nothing to be ashamed of. You can really open up, be vulnerable. And it's things that I share with you that I just don't talk about, because out of shame and being stuck in survival mode. But you just helped push it. And there was one thing, I don't know who it was talking. I think I said my chiropractor. He said, we got to reevaluate you. And I said, we done had all these wins and I done paid off all this stuff, but I have something that's I can't get right. And I put money on my credit card. And I was like, reevaluate your money. Don't depend on L to do it all. You have to put in some work. Reevaluate your money. And I went and did that. And I still do. I look at like, okay, this is the checking account. Now this is your play money account. Don't be tapping over here. So look at that account. It is People think your account is Goliath. You, like you said, you tell your money what to do.
That part, that freaking part. Last question, Presley. You know, we have the group as part of
Mhm.
B. I also do the one-on-ones. You and I work together one-on-one. For folks who are watching this,
Yeah.
other women, other ladies who maybe have been in the same positions as you or the other ladies that you know, part of the GFB squad, what advice would you give them if they've been watching and they're considering and they're on the fence? What would you say
Mhm.
to them?
I would say I know it's scary. I know you look at your money and you just think not me. I can't. Just take a chance on yourself. Give yourself 6 months to a year and just see what can happen. And look at what can or where you at, but what can happen. And also uh, this is something I do, but it's something little, but maybe a visual can help. Check your debit cards and just tell them, thank you for holding space, or shake your credit cards and thank you that, the debt has fallen off. Um, and then go into it. Just a little exercise of where you are appreciating your money. Um, it's scary. You're gonna have anxiety meeting with Elle at first. You were, because I did. But in the meantime, I pushed through, pushed through. You deserve it. You're worthy of it. And especially in these times where they're talking about the economy. Do it for you. Do it for your legacy. It's possible. There's no such thing as possible. The word itself says I'm possible.
Yes, we're gonna leave it right there. I, again, am so grateful for you, Presley. Um, I've just enjoyed the journey that we've been on and the journey that we will continue. And thank you for coming on and sharing your story today. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you. I really do.
So for anyone watching, as Presley said, tap in. Now's your time. Time waits for no one. So tap in, see what it's about, learn more at least, and give yourself a chance. And let's just do this. Let's keep going, keep elevating. So until next time, love your budget and love your life. See you later.